Hey everyone, Alan Schimmel, DevOps.com, DevOps TV, here live from you from the DevOps Enterprise Summit, San Francisco, 2017. Joined again by our friend Sam Guckenheimer of Microsoft. Sam, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's only been a few hours. And Sam has brought with him Jennifer, I'm not going to mess up your last name.
I can say it if you like.
Jennifer Perret?
Perfect. You can go with that. It totally works.
Some people say Jen P.
Some people say Jen P.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people say Perret. But, you know.
Okay.
Tomato, tomato.
Exactly. Jennifer, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to DevOps TV. So, you guys just presented on really a really cool topic for me anyway, which is how Skype for consumers, to be clear, has gone the way of DevOps, right? Has adopted a DevOps path. Yeah. Sam, not unlike, and an adoption and a move to the cloud, we should mention.
All at the same time.
Yep, sounds very similar to your kind of move, migration with Visual Basic Studio and so forth.
Well, so I mean, Skype is about 1,000 engineers. They're on our one engineering system, which is based on Visual Studio Team Services.
Yep.
You can think of that as 1,000 out of 75,000 at Microsoft. Mm-hmm. So Skype has been a fantastic, both a fantastic user organization and a fantastic contributor back. Part of the reason it's been such a great partnership is that they are a large user of Java on Linux with Postgres, and so they've done a bunch of extensions that were things they wanted to use, and they contributed those back to VSTS. So things like Maven and Ivy support, which we've recently released to all of our customers. That came from collaboration with Skype.
Fantastic. So Jennifer, what's your role with Skype though?
So I am the GPM, or actually I should clarify, I was the GPM for Skype through this journey for the last 5 years.
Wow.
Just recently I moved, actually taking all of that knowledge over to the Azure infrastructure team. But when we started to set up this conference, I still was so close to Skype, still working so closely with all of them, it made sense for me to get the opportunity to tell this story.
You deserve it.
Well, a lot of great folks that I got to work with through this journey.
So let me start off with this. No one undertakes a journey like this for kicks, right? Or for good times.
Oh, I think there was good times, but maybe
But that wasn't the driving
That
force.
was not the driver.
Hey, let's have a really good time and move Skype
Completely
to a
change
DevOps.
everything.
Yeah. What was the driving force here?
So there were several driving forces. I would say first and foremost, really it was the trends in the industry and for our customer base. So mobile devices were rapidly outpacing desktop PCs, which Skype was originally built, for that desktop PC, where we actually had that processing power put onto the client. So one, we needed to change that to be able to enable that really the mobile device experience, so you could have that calling experience on your phone. So we wanted to do that. So that meant moving that processing power to the cloud. Second, we wanted to be able to ensure that we could scale out rapidly for our really peak times. So just like many of the sort of other .coms out there or other large-scale services, we have peak periods throughout the year.
Sure.
Skype, it's Mother's Day. Believe it or not, Mother's Day is the day that we see the largest traffic. And so we wanted to move from trying to buy these really large hardware SKUs to maintain the load we needed for one day out of 365
it is a perfect cloud.
to be able to move, that scale, rapidly roll it out, bring it back. In addition, I think there was also this whole focus on DevOps, which is around, look, we had seen in the industry trends that were already happening that shift to DevOps brought the quality bar up. Empowering engineers, making sure they owned their destiny. They felt the ownership completely, rather than that sort of, we'll throw it over the wall, and now it's an ops problem. Right. By bringing that sort of empowerment, we brought that quality bar up.
Fantastic. And so when did you begin this journey?
We actually began this journey really around 2011, 2012. So the decision to actually re-architect as microservices on Azure was made in 2012. So about a year after the acquisition. But Skype, even prior to acquisition by Microsoft, was facing these challenges, and they were already looking to make this shift. The decision just hadn't been made yet.
Got it. I mean, the move to the cloud is in hindsight, which is always 2020, right, is a no-brainer.
For this type of scale load,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it was made for this. But the move to adopt a DevOps sort of mindset or a DevOps posture, whatever you want to, what's the right word for that, Sam? Is it a DevOps posture or?
I would think mindset's a great word.
Or culture.
DevOps.
I think.
And DevOps culture. I mean, we think it's the, we often talk about DevOps as the union of people, process, and tooling to deliver flow of value to customers. So it's the culture that everyone talks about as being the hard part, changing the people, changing their mindset, getting to a growth mindset. One of the things that we were talking about in our session is the idea that a live site incident is a terrible thing to waste.
Yeah.
Whenever you have an incident, it's a learning opportunity.
Absolutely.
And you want to be able to say, what have we learned from this, and how do we prevent this from happening again? And you can't do that in a test lab. That only happens in production.
Got it.
And you need to be able to mitigate the results, but then you need to be able to do root cause remediation so that it doesn't happen again. And with a service like Skype, where people are doing video and voice and all this kind of stuff, you have a very high SLA you need to maintain. And as you go to microservices, you need to think about the telemetry as the customer sees it. It's the end-to-end customer scenario. I'm doing a video call with mom, right? And we need to, and even if there are a bunch of services that are collaborating there, initiating the call and doing the video and so forth, it's getting that end-to-end scenario across the telemetry so that you can manage it and manage KPIs that reflect what the user experience is about.
Let me bring this home. So most of the people watching this on YouTube, which is where this is going to be on DevOps TV, are probably DevOps people, and they understand exactly what we're talking about with microservices and DevOps and all of these things. But for those few who aren't, and just watching it because they saw Skype and they're Skype users.
And they saw cloud, maybe. Yeah.
Right. Why should they care that you, well, I understand why they should care about cloud because it allows them to make their call on Mother's Day. But why should they care that you've adopted DevOps mindsets, that you've used a microservices architecture? Why is it important to them?
That's a great question. I mean, I think there's many answers to that. I think it'll resonate with folks differently depending on where their mindset's coming from. I think what is interesting in particular with Skype and why we chose microservices architecture is, one, we had a globally distributed engineering team. And so one of the things, not only because of the very large kind of core library, almost like a monolith that we had on the client that we wanted to change, we also had this paradigm where we had all these engineers who, because they were working on a monolith, had these dependencies that just didn't help when you had time zones of 10 plus hours. So I think for customers out there, or folks looking at their own engineering and they have folks distributed, that's a great thing to think about with microservices. I will also add the decoupling nature of microservices. It is imperative that you're not actually saying, hey, we're doing microservices, but they're tightly coupled. And the reason for that is that you want to make sure that with the cloud, you bring in that high availability, high resilience. So by having that loosely coupled, truly decoupled microservices, you can make those kinds of moves very quickly. Therefore, again, bringing up that quality bar.
And at the end of the day, it ensures that on Mother's Day, when they want to call mom, God darn it, it's going to work.
It's got to work.
That's right.
It's got to work.
And that's the important thing.
That's why it matters.
Yeah. And I had this conversation with someone earlier. All of this stuff we talk about and how often we release stuff and all of these other metrics you and Nicole were talking about earlier when we interviewed you. At the end of the day, it's about customer happiness.
Absolutely.
Another CEO talking about it's not about satisfaction, because satisfaction is not a high enough bar.
No,
Exactly.
no,
You're just satisfied.
Absolutely.
It's about customer happiness.
Yep.
And that's why we do
And
it.
that's where, for us, we think about it as that call quality. It's not that
Absolutely.
the call happened; it's that you can actually
actually
see
see it.
mom.
Yep,
And mom
clearly.
can see you.
And that's what makes all the difference.
That's the quality bar.
I didn't realize it till my son went away to college. It makes all the difference.
It makes a big difference,
To see
right?
his face.
You can see what's really going on.
Exactly.
You're really
Anyway.
checking in with the loved ones. Yep.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to say I miss him when he's away. 'Cause,
No,
I'm
you do,
tough
and
like
it's
that.
okay.
Anyway, Jennifer, thank you.
Thank you.
Sam, always a pleasure, my friend.
Thanks a lot,
Are we
Alan.
on for another one after this, or is
No, I
that's
think
going to
this
be
is
it for
it
now?
me.
I will see you at the next Does. All right. This is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com, DevOps TV here at Does Enterprise 17. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.